Hello and welcome to a special episode of Behind the Bell. I'm your host and president of the Nasdaq Stock Exchange, Nelson Griggs. Joining me today is George Kurtz, co-founder and CEO of Crowdstrike, a leading provider of next-generation endpoint protection, threat intelligence, and services. So it's a big day for Crowdstrike as it just completed its first trade here at Nasdaq and now is public under the ticker of CRWD. Congratulations, George, and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, great. Maybe you can start by telling us about Crowdstrike, its mission, and who it serves.
Well, I think everyone is probably familiar with the devastating cyber attacks that happen day in and day out. And part of our mission, as I like to say, we don't have a mission statement, we're on a mission, is preventing breaches and preventing those massive breaches and destructive attacks for our customers. And we've done that by building a cloud-based endpoint security platform we call Falcon.
Great. And that's part of how you're reimagining the industry, but maybe you could take us next level about what that means to your clients and the industry.
Well, when we started Crowdstrike, Dmitry Alperovich as co-founder, we both came from a large antivirus company, and we saw the struggles that customers were having in trying to deploy technology, but more importantly in being breached. So they were buying a lot of point products and throwing dollars at a problem, and they still weren't getting the results they wanted, which was to prevent the breach. We saw that as an opportunity as the cloud was becoming more prominent, and we saw the structural shift from client server to cloud, that we could reimagine security and become a foundational security cloud company.
Great, and artificial intelligence plays a role in that, and the crowd, and maybe you could give that explanation a bit too.
Yeah, so a big part of what we do is we collect data at scale. So we have a small lightweight agent that runs on the endpoint that can make decisions whether there's threats or malware on the endpoint. But a big part of what we do is also collect data at scale, and that drives a lot of our artificial intelligence. So we collect that data. We're continually updating our math models, which can essentially predict whether something's going to be good or bad without ever seeing it in prior.
Right. Wow. Wow. Well, we've also heard references to companies such as Salesforce when your cloud native architecture is discussed and being born in the cloud, and why is that so pivotal to the company in its future?
Well, you have to start with the right architecture, and just like Salesforce was able to start with a cloud native architecture, meaning they started in the cloud and they're delivering a technology and a service that doesn't have any on-premise elements to it. You can't buy the on-premise version of Salesforce. It's the same with Crowdstrike, right? There's no on-premise version. So all of our data is in the cloud. That drives not only our AI and our efficacy, but it also drives the modules that we sell to customers. So we collect data once from our endpoints, all of our endpoints, and then we're able to reuse that data many times over for different modules, and then we sell those modules on a subscription basis to customers, solving specific pain points. Could be antivirus, could be device control, it could be vulnerability management.
Right. So customers, any great stories you have to share, how you've helped them transform their security approach?
We have a lot of great customers, a lot of enterprises. I think we have 44 of the top Fortune 100 companies. So we have a lot of large and small customers that depend on us. I think some of the great stories include folks like Roland Cloutier at ADP, where he was interested in protecting his environment at ADP. They run a great shop, but he was really interested in the ease of use of the product and the fact that it just worked, and we've had a great relationship with them in replacing the legacy technologies that they had in use at the time, and they became a great customer for us over the years.
And companies are getting very comfortable with the cloud these days.
Yeah, if you look at the cloud, certainly in the early days there might be more resistance, but in 2019, just look at some of the foundational cloud companies of Salesforce, Workday, or ServiceNow, right? Big enterprises have centralized on these platforms, and they've made the shift now into the cloud era for security.
Right, got it. So think about our audience out here, any advice you have for folks getting involved in the industry or thinking about starting companies and how you got to where you got to?
Yeah, I think, just in terms of being an entrepreneur and starting companies, it's important for people to realize that, if there really is a problem, if there really is a pain point, if you come out with something that's better, that just works, that's easy to use, there's a great opportunity, even if it's in a crowded field, and I think we've been able to show that. So, for aspiring entrepreneurs, you got to go with your dream, and it's one of those areas where if your grandkid is sitting on your lap and it should have been in the conversations I shoulda, woulda, coulda, like that's not a place you want to be, right? You want to be able to say you saw a problem and you were able to help change the world in some small fashion.
Great. All right, great advice. So we had a fun day here, probably a good 150 plus folks here from Crowdstrike. Maybe you could talk about the IPO, what it means to you and the company.
Yeah, well, it's a pleasure to be here at Nasdaq. You guys have been a great partner for us, and in particular, we look at this as a funding round, a Series F, right? And we never want to get too excited. We should celebrate today and look at the success. You know, in a short period of time, less than 8 years, the company's been around, but really look forward. And there's a lot of hard work in front of us. There's a lot of customers that we can still service that are unfortunately suffering with legacy solutions, and that's really going to be our focus going forward.
Awesome. Well, George, we're thrilled to call you a part of the Nasdaq family and can't wait to see more from Crowdstrike in the future. And to the Nasdaq followers, thank you for joining us on this episode of Behind the Bell. Stay tuned for more updates from the Nasdaq market site in Times Square, New York City.